Ellen Page has transitioned to Elliot Page. She put out a statement. It says, "Hi, friends. I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity, and ceaseless working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place." Now, Ellen Page, if you don't know, she's from Juno. She was in what was the Inception. She's currently on a Netflix original called The Umbrella Academy.
She's an
and
X-Men.
She's an X-Men, yes, or he Elliot, yes, Elliot Page is an X-Men. And lots of these movie production companies have already gone back and changed his name to Elliot in the credits. And as far as I understand, he will play a girl on Umbrella Academy still. It's still acting. People play different genders all the time. So I know lots of people who seem to be pretty upset about this. And it's not just the conservatives. It is also the lesbian community. They are very upset about this. They are very upset about this. Do you know why they're upset about this, Kay?
Because they think that there's some like mass agenda to turn all the lesbians into cis males. Like they on it. Like I just watched Arielle Scarcella's video on the topic, and
that's where we're going.
I got to the end of it, and I was just like, "What the hell did I just watch?"
Yep.
Well, we did it. We lost another.
Yep. That's where we're going right now. Arielle Scarcella, or Scarcelli. I think it's Scarcelli. She, she did she got pretty famous over the last year, I believe it was. She came out with a video, "Why I Left the Right," and since then has been putting out a lot of videos about how bad the left is and how stupid they are, and all of her she is a lesbian.
She's basically
sorry,
lesbian vision.
Yeah, sorry, it's why I left the left, not why I left the right. My bad. But she's like a, I don't know how to say this. She's like a troll lesbian, to where like if you look at all of her thumbnails, like it's all like there's a dildo in her hand right there. This is a girl pinching another girl's crotch. This is two girls on a bed, like touching each other. These are two girls doing the, two girls kissing here. Like this is a lot of lesbo bait here. Like she's a lesbian for the aesthetic, it seems.
Yeah.
For like she's a lesbian for the views. And even her entire like "Why I Left the Left" thing seemed horribly disingenuous. She went on her entire, campaign of going around the internet and talking to all sorts of people, saying, yes, the the left, it's so horrible, and blah blah blah, and pretty much just became Dave Rubin, the lesbian Dave Rubin, and she had a massive uptick in views, and that dropped off very quickly, and then she started her own what's it called, OnlyFans page since then. So yes, like she uses her lesbianism for the views. Like that is her thing. She's not, I mean, I don't want to say she's ugly. She's not super attractive. Like she's look at that face. Just look at that face. How could you not love that face? But yes, she is very upset about Elliot Page. So let's get into this real quick.
Other lesbian guys. I was filming content for my OnlyFans page. Subscribe if you haven't already. I was filming content for my OnlyFans page, and I got flooded with messages from you guys telling me that the person formerly known as Ellen Page is now going by Elliot Page. They now go by he, they pronouns. They came out as trans. Let's see what's up. Hi friends, I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he and they, and my name is Elliot. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self. I love that I am trans, and I love that I am queer, and the more I hold myself close and fully embrace who I am, the more I dream, the more my heart grows, and the more I thrive. Thank you for reading this. All my love, Elliot. My response is basically this: if he is truly trans, good for fucking him. There is still a huge issue at large, and that is, why are we losing all of our lesbians? Why are we not seeing this trend as frequently with gay men? I said this to Elliot on Twitter. Much respect for the Elliot Page for coming out as trans. I still wonder though, where are all the lesbians going? Two things can be true at once. One, some people are actually trans. Two, some lesbians are internally misogynistic and want to be anything other than a woman. And I stand by.
Okay. Internal misogyny is it's like something that like conservative women, trad con wives, are accused of, where they say things like, women shouldn't dress provocatively, they shouldn't work, they should stay home, take care of the kids, clean the house. Like this is internal misogyny, right? Like they are contributing to the patriarchy, pretty much. They are making sure that men are the breadwinners and the ones who are worshipped and do all of the stuff, and women just stay home, take care of the kids, nothing but that. And if that's what you want to do, like, hey, I think that is commendable. I want a tradcon wife. Like that's what I want. So I'm not hating on those women whatsoever. I appreciate those women, but women should have the choice. Nobody should tell women what they should or shouldn't do, one way or the other. And I guess the same for men. I don't know. I'm not going to stay home and take care of the freaking kids. That's not happening, but whatever, dude. Whatever pleases you. The thing is, she says at the end there, gay guys aren't doing this as much as gay women. What's the deal? And I think it's pretty simple. When you, the more that being trans or transitioning becomes acceptable in today's culture, the more you look at very butch lesbians and you think, well, they were always pretty much dudes, though. Like that, they were always pretty much dudes. I saw a guy. I got in a lot of trouble last week. I released a video with me and Kay where we talk about Vosh, and we talk about pedophilia and stuff like that. And I've had to apologize and kind of, or not apologize, but give some more information. I guess I did a bad job at explaining my position in this video, and a bunch of people shared this video saying, this guy's an idiot, or he's a pedophile, or he wants kids to get raped or whatever. And I found one today where a guy said some people just shouldn't be allowed to have opinions. And I scrolled through his feed and looked at some of the other stuff he posted. And one of the things he posted was Ellen Page, now Elliot Page, after transition. And his caption was, "Damn, and I used to think she was hot." And I thought, well, she was always kind of a dude, though. Like I always felt like she was kind of a dude. Maybe that's just me.
She was never a super feminine woman.
Yeah, I thought, like, there are some chicks out there that you just like. There are feminine females who can be one of the guys, and that's totally different. But there are females who are just kind of dudes.
They just emulate males better than they do females.
Yes. And Ellen Page was one of those people, and I could totally see this coming to where now he is Elliot Page. I don't understand. I will say this. I don't understand he, they. Shouldn't it be he, him, they, them?
So I'm still learning about gender identity, and thankfully I have quite a few people that follow me on Twitter that are more understanding of this. So he came out as trans, and he also came out as non-binary. So he doesn't, the way it was explained to me means that he doesn't fully identify with either masculine or feminine. He exists somewhere in between the societal norms of feminine and masculine, or what's associated with the feminine and what's associated with the masculine on a like social level, because gender is a social construct. Like women wear dresses, men wear pants. That's going to differ from society to society. So he exists kind of in the in-between. So he is comfortable being referred to as he, and also as they, being as a non-binary person.
Okay. So you could use either he, him, or they, them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's what I was saying. Is I feel like it should say he, him / they, them.
Yeah, it does make it a little bit confusing, especially like as someone that's having to like unlearn so much about what was drilled into me being in the right wing and being a conservative Republican, having to unlearn that while also trying to learn how gender identity and expression works. It confused me like a lot. Like I asked a genuine question on Twitter, like, can someone please explain to me how you can be trans and non-binary? And like several people thought that like I was being snarky about it, and like I had to clarify, like, I'm asking a genuine question. Like I genuinely want to know the answer to this question because I don't understand it, and I would like somebody to explain it to me.
Yeah. Well, again, look, I know that Scarcella is super upset about this, but to me, it makes sense that all of these butch lesbians start identifying as dudes. Like, it just does.
It's not even like based factually in like any kind of truth. Like, it's not like the lesbians are dying out. Like, stats do not support the idea that like lesbians are about to go extinct because they're all becoming trans dudes. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, and there's lots of gay guys who are very feminine, but they're not walking around in dresses and carrying purses. Whereas butch lesbians are walking around in baggy jeans with a backwards hat and
binding their chest.
Yes, they are like they do things to be more masculine. They always have. That's just the way things have been. They shave their heads, or they have like dude haircuts. Like butch lesbians have been dudes. They just have been. Like anybody who hangs out with a butch lesbian, you consider that a dude. You just do.
I have a friend that's a very, very butch lesbian, and it's just like being around a dude. And things that people like don't understand is the biological components that make it different for butch lesbians and very feminine gay men is like gay men aren't uncomfortable with their anatomy because they are equally attracted to that anatomy. Whereas with very, very butch lesbians, their chests makes them genuinely uncomfortable because it is a very feminine thing,
Right.
especially if someone has a larger chest. Like this is why you see lesbians that are very, very butch binding their chests because they genuinely feel uncomfortable in their own bodies. So it's not a far stretch for a butch lesbian woman to transition into a trans man because it's not that far off the marker because they are experiencing body dysmorphia, which could very, very easily transition into gender dysphoria. And there is studies showing that the two are, there's a very, very fine line between the two, and it's very, very easy for body dysmorphia to turn into genuine gender dysphoria.
Right. Urosama said, to me, this is split into biology and identity. People aren't just the opposite sex biologically, but if you're talking about identity, I get it. Okay, so this is a part that's very confusing that most people just don't have the education on or just don't seem to understand. And this is something that I go over in my video, Why I Left the Right. Sex and gender in medical dictionaries are separate things. They have been considered separate things since the 50s. And we're all just kind of finding out about it now. But sex is what we would all say your biological sex. This is your, whether or not you have a penis, whether or not you have a vagina or breasts or your chromosomes or things like that. That is your sex. That is more about biology. And so that would be male or female. That's sex. Your gender is man or woman. And your gender is what you present as or what you identify as. So in culture, we consider something womanly if they're wearing makeup, if they're wearing a dress, if they carry a purse, if they, have feminine characteristics and limp wrists and, whatever else. Like that is gender. Gender is more a representation of yourself. And these are social constructs. So when we say something like gender is a social construct, lots of people are like, what do you mean? Like whether or not I have a penis is a social construct? How does that make sense? No, that's sex. Gender is everything that doesn't come automatically, but culturally, it just happens to be that way. So, like, Kay is not biologically determined to wear dresses. She's not. She's not biologically determined to like the color pink. She's not biologically more likely to wear makeup. But because of the way our culture works, that's just how it turns out. That's the way it works. Our culture has made it to where women wear makeup. Women wear dresses. Women wear bows in their hair. They have long hair. Men don't have long hair. Women, like the color pink. Women like Barbies. Guys like video games. Like these have all become social constructs. Just because you have a penis does not mean you're going to like monster trucks automatically. It just doesn't. We think it does because the social construct has always matched up with the biological sex. But in reality, a male, someone with a penis, could very finely just walk around, wear dresses, wear makeup, carry a purse, like the color pink, have long hair, all of these things, and that would not be going against their biological sex. There's nothing biological about that at all. So we have separated the two to say one is gender, one is sex. And therefore, you can do both at the same time. You can crisscross it. You can mix it up. You can be all over the place. It is now, gender is now a spectrum to where you can be a little feminine. You can be a lot feminine. You can be a little masculine. You can be a lot masculine. You can be a freaking woman. Like you can be wearing a dress and have on makeup with a full big grizzly beard and Timberlands on and big old muscles, and like you can be super masculine and super feminine both at the same time. It's possible. This is what they're talking about when they say sex versus gender, identities. You can't just identify as the other biological sex. You just can't. Like, I can't have a penis and be like, well, I identify as somebody with a vagina. So you can't. Sometimes you want to be seen, though, culturally the same as everybody else, to where you're willing to go have surgery that will get you that extra step to be seen the way that you want to be seen culturally, to have the breasts, to have the body parts that normally come with your identity.
Yep. And unfortunately, it's still a huge uphill battle to get so many people to understand this very, very simple concept.
Tomboy Dash said, do you guys think people are born gay or lesbian? Now, Kay, you identify as bi, correct? Do you consider yourself part of the LGBTQ community? Yeah. And do you think that you were born bi?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it was anything that made me attracted to one sex over the other.
Do you think it's possible that somebody could be born straight, have something traumatic happen to them, and over time end up identifying differently later on down the road because of that traumatic experience? Like, we know that lots of people who happen to be molested at young ages are more likely to end up identifying as gay. We know this, but we don't know if it's a coincidence or if something traumatic actually leads them to a different conclusion.
I'm not going to say that it's impossible. I mean, trauma, like mental trauma on the brain is a very, very powerful thing. I mean, the brain has the ability to literally block out traumatic experiences from our brain to where we can't remember them. So I'm not going to say that it's not possible for something that traumatic, such as, child molestation, to not be able to have such an intense effect on the brain to where it rewires your sexual attractions and what you are attracted to on a sexual level.
Okay. Yeah, my sister is a lesbian. She's married to another woman. I walked her down the aisle to marry this other woman. I can't tell you whether or not she was born gay. She had boyfriends when she was younger, but she says she was born gay and that she always liked women. And it was just harder for her to come to this realization on her own because social constructs told her that she should like men. So I'll have to take her word for it. But yeah, so Ellen Page is now Elliot Page, and the lesbians are mad.
And the patriarchy went so far as to turn all of the lesbians into trans men.
True.
Like, that's the lengths that they're going to now.
Patriarchy wins again. Yeah, yeah. Woo! All right.
Somebody's gonna clip that, and you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. We'll turn that whole thing into a video. Let's see. Simply Marco said, "Yo, you heard about Donald Trump moving to Russia?" Nah, I'm not buying that. Urusama said, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with this. Sex is biology and gender is identity, but I think identity is clearer to most people than gender, to be honest. So I tend to use it." Yeah, I think it is as well. I think that changing the word gender to mean something else now has confused a lot of people, to where gender has always meant the same exact thing as sex. They were synonyms. They meant the same exact thing, always. And so now when somebody says, "Oh, well, actually my gender is something else," people think, so you had a penis, but now you have a vagina because you say you have a vagina? That doesn't make sense. Like, well, it's because the people who are saying these things believe there's a difference between gender and sex, and it confuses a lot of people. Like, especially for most conservatives, they truly have no clue that that's what these people even mean when they say gender, or that they think that there's a difference between the two. They just have no clue. They don't know. So when a female says, "I identify as a man," they think they have a penis. They don't have a penis. They think they do, though. This is weird. They're very confused. If they just look in their pants, they will see they don't have a penis. But
I saw this funny tweet today because it was retweeted on my timeline by somebody as a trans man sharing his experience between telling his girlfriends that he was trans and telling his guy friends that he was trans, and like the messages from like his girlfriends are like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you," like all these heart emojis, like showing so much support, and the messages from his guy friends are like, "You should get surgery and get like a 12-inch penis."
Yep. I'd imagine that's pretty hard for somebody who's actually a transsexual, changing their sex, and they have to decide what size penis they want. I'd assume that's a hard decision, right? Like, nobody's going to choose a really like microscopic penis, but they're like, do I want to be like super out there with it, just, massive, or do I want something that's just like modest, just very, very normal, fits in your pocket kind of thing, not too intimidating. I think this is a hard thing to think about,
I'm very thankful that I don't ever have to think about it.
Urusama said, on a personal level, I don't believe in genders. Man and woman, outside of a biological sense, is fictional. Masculinity and femininity is the yin yang we possess, both separately within one another at once. True. Tom Boley Dash said, supposedly studies show nobody is born gay or lesbian, and the reason is because it's not biological. So I actually read the same study. What they kind of said was that they couldn't find hardcore evidence to say that there were genes that show that you are gay, or definitive genes. They found some that were correlated with being gay, but they couldn't find any that show that you are going to be gay, and therefore they didn't think it was biological. But just because it's biological doesn't mean that you're not born that way. I think that there's more that goes into it than just genetics. Otherwise, we would see otherwise gay people would just die out pretty much because they're not having biological children, and so therefore they're not passing on the gay gene, and therefore the gay gene would just die off. But it doesn't. It continues somehow. So I think from what the study says, it's not that simple to just say that they're not born gay because it's not biological. Urasama said, so you can take that as no genders or infinite genders that are completely unique to each and every person. I think just saying none is more direct, though. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to identify every ladder in the ring. I don't think that we need to say okay, here's super duper feminine and here's super duper masculine, and now let's give a bunch of names for every little rung in between. I don't think that's necessary. You're either mostly masculine or you're mostly feminine, or you feel you're just smack dab in the middle, just non-binary, and just leave it at that. I think that that's the best way to go about it. We'll keep you updated as the information on the pronouns comes in. Fireball said, before we know, it will be discussing the biological reason men compare sizes.
Is there a biological reason for that?
I don't think so. I don't think so. So there's I remember when I was younger, I saw this documentary on HBO where it was a bunch of women saying oh yeah, size definitely matters. Size, it's got, the bigger it is, the better it is always. Now there's actual hardcore polls and statistics that show most women don't like a super big dong that they are not happy when that thing that they don't want none of the anaconda is what it is. It's flipped around. It's not the anaconda don't want none. It's they don't want none of the anaconda. An average sized penis, not small, not big. I think average is 6 to 8 inches. That is ideal to most women. Anything bigger than that, it is just not even interesting. So
it's not about the size of the weapon, gentlemen. It is how you use the weapon.
It's not the, what is it? The motion of the ocean, but the. Did I mess that up?
I think you have it backwards.
It's not the, what is it? The size of the wave, but the motion of the ocean? I don't know what it is, but yeah, something like that. Urasama said, oh man, I just thought of an excellent reaction video to link you. I'll send it tomorrow with a description. I think you'll like it.
Awesome.
We all wait in suspense.